Now, if you have demand on your cars, you have to start watching now your energy uses, because after a certain amount, a cap goes on. Then you have to buy credits from other car companies or other countries. I bet there's a car company that doesn't exist in Zimbabwe that can plant a tree and sell you their carbon credits. If it hasn't gone over its cap, you have to go out and buy those. So then that way you can have the invisible gas credit. Now, it's not just car companies, it's everything. Everything. One of the most affected will be bakers because of all the ovens and everything else. But don't worry. Don't worry. This is not going to cause a price problem with bread. No. No. You'll be able to get bread. No, bread will be different. Yeah, bread will be different. For some reason, bread will be different. Remember, the government can print money. Bakers cannot. So their options are, remember, save the planet and create jobs. You're a baker. You have to now pay for carbon credits. You can pay for them out of the, all the money you make in the bakery. My father was a baker, so I know. Oh my gosh, we were so rich. We were so rich. Oh, I got to tell you, there's so much money in cakes and donuts. So your options are fire people, cut salaries, hire people part-time, get rid of benefits, or raise prices. Well, which one is the president saying is going to happen? Because he knows. Watch.
Under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
So electricity rates are going to skyrocket. So how does the baker pay for the energy? How does he pay for the extra energy and the cap? He's got to make more bread to pay for the higher energy price, but he can't because there's a cap. How is he going to pay for the higher energy and the cap? By creating more jobs? With what? Magic fairy money? With what? It's going to destroy jobs, or, I should say, and/or raise the price of bread. Now, how is that helping you? How's that helping you? Oh, I remember now. That's right. We're going to save the planet. That's how it's helping you. Save the planet. Jesus wants you to save the planet. Look, here's what I think Jesus wants you to do. I think Jesus wants you to be a responsible citizen and don't litter. Be responsible and don't dump stuff into the rivers. That's what Jesus wants you to do. We all have to share the earth and we have to have it go on for future generations. But Jesus doesn't want a cap and trade system. Really? You're asked to sacrifice to save the planet. They'll have you believe that's the point of it. But let me ask you this, and please really honestly think this through. Do you remember an instance where a politician, while in power, gave the American people politically insane news? Like, by the way, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to do it to save something in 1,000 years from now. And it's going to make your gas prices skyrocket. It'll probably be $10 a gallon gas. Can you think of a politician who's ever done that? Are we supposed to believe now politicians have suddenly grown spines? They're going to stand responsible for $10 a gallon gasoline, yet these same people won't declare war after 9/11. Really? Really? They want to close Gitmo because... Really? They will tell you there's a war to save the planet, and you will have to pay $10 a gallon gasoline, but they won't address Social Security collapsing in what, 2 years, 5 years? They're going to make bread and gas and everything else, the price skyrocket for something coming in 1,000 years, but they don't have the political courage to fix Social Security. Make sense to you, America? It doesn't. So now let's try to figure out what does make sense. Let's first of all remember what we learned in the 3rd grade. Plants need this dangerous invisible gas, okay? The planet, no, there's not going to be any place for any kind of farms or anything because it's so bad. CO2 is so bad. We learned it in the 3rd grade. Let me show you a video here. A video made from co2science.org. Here it is. This plant over here, time-lapse photography, getting 180% increase in CO2 levels. That's 30% higher than the worst-case predictions by the end of the century. This plant getting the regular, dangerous, evil amount. Which one's doing better? The plant that's getting the we're all going to die amount actually seems to like CO2. Gosh, I do think I remember learning that. Maybe it was in the second grade. It's not about saving the globe, okay? We also know that they are creating a global governance structure. Look what they're already doing on every other front. You have the IMF now setting global standards for Greece and the European Union. We have Obama saying that he's going to put together a financial bill for global structure. IMF has also pushed a global bank tax that would create a fund to prepare for a future crisis. I thought these things would prevent all future crises. The World Health Organization is now pursuing a global tax on things like internet usage and transactions like paying bills online. Bill Clinton is pushing his Clinton Global Initiative. Oh, by the way, who's his Al Gore was his vice president. That's weird, who also said that the climate bill would bring about global governance. I think you're being scammed. You're being scammed by a group of people I've called Crime Inc. This is the biggest crime, because it's planetary wide. This is the biggest crime in our planet's history. It's how all of this works. It's the thing that makes sense. Who's going to get rich? Well, we've shown you how the money goes from the Chicago Climate Exchange, how it all got there over the days. If you missed it, go to glennbeck.com and look for this. We've laid it all out. We've shown you all of it, all the board of directors of the Emerald Cities Collaborative, where a lot of the money stops. It's all the usual suspects, all of them, all of them. Creating green jobs. Yeah, that's right, creating jobs. Right. Now, what we haven't shown you is, besides all of the usual suspects of the global, workers of the world unite people and global government people, what we haven't shown you is the board of directors of CCX, the Chicago Climate Exchange, which, by the way, the Chicago Climate Exchange just sold to an international company. So it's global now. Okay. I haven't shown you who's on the board of directors, but let me take you back to the words at the top of the show. The top of the show, I showed you these words. It was from a 1990 interview. At the time, can you bring the words up? At the time, by the UN Secretary General for the Earth Summit. He's now one of the directors, board of directors of CCX. This is what he said. What if a small group of these world leaders were to conclude that the principal risk of the Earth comes from their actions, the actions of rich countries, and in order to save the planet, the group decides, isn't the only hope for the planet that the industrialized civilizations collapse? Isn't that our responsibility to bring this all about? Now, I want to be very clear here, because we talked to the reporter that did this interview in 1990 up in Canada, and I want to be very clear. He was fantasizing about a plot of a novel he was thinking about writing. Yeah. I want to show you the list of novels that Maurice Strong has written before 1990. Here it is. None. No, he's never written a novel. But this is 1990, and he had this great, because that sounds like a great plot, doesn't it? Is it? How many has he written since? None. Wow. That's, You know what? He's been busy. He's got this great novel idea, but he hadn't had time to do it because he's involved in collapsing the global economies into the hands of a global government. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like his book. Maybe it's performance art. This isn't about CO2. It's not about the planet. You know what this is about? This is about the evil rich people of the world, namely you, because remember, you're the wealthiest 10% in the world. I think you might be even the wealthiest 1% in the world. This is about the evil rich countries. In other words, you. That's what this is about. The guy's name is Maurice Strong. Goes without saying he's a socialist. He's also Canadian. I want to show you. Those don't necessarily go hand in hand. I know a lot of great Canadians. I want to show you his resume, and then I need your help. Next.